All right, I'm Troy Davis of WeThePeopleRadio.com, and we're here in Plainfield, New Hampshire. We just got back from a city selectmen meeting in Plainfield, New Hampshire, where Joe Haas was arrested for sending a email.
What's your name? Joe Haas.
Yep. Good. Hey, what time?
Don't go to the airport, but over on the other side. I don't know what the bail is from.
For selectmen, we've got Rob Taylor, Mark Wilder, and Drew Belliot. I'm Steve Halloran, the town administrator. And you are, for the record?
I'm Bernie Bass.
Okay.
And Joe Haas had been put on the agenda to speak, but he's not able to be in here at the moment.
And what's your last name?
Bastion.
B-N?
S-T-I-A-N.
And so you're in his stead, if you will?
If you will, yes.
Okay.
So it's only going to take a minute here. He wanted to put you on notice of Article 12A of the New Hampshire Constitution, which says taxation and protection reciprocal. And we're aware that the Browns pay, you know the Browns, I'm sure you're familiar with the case.
Once or twice.
Okay. And they pay tax, and they haven't received the protection that they're entitled to. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'd like to give you this. This is from the Secretary of State's office. And when any government agency, including the federal government, comes to do business in the state, there's a filing that they must do to comply with RSA 123.1. And they haven't complied with that, and therefore they don't have jurisdiction in the state. And we would like you people to please protect the grounds from anybody who comes against them unlawfully. Your duty is to protect everyone from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And if they're operating unlawfully here, and you have duty to the Browns because you cashed the checks or received the payments for their tax, and therefore you entered into a contract where you're obligated to protect them. And if you can't do that, then you need to look at rebating your tax. And that's really all I have to say. Unless you have any questions.
Could you bring the RSA?
It's noted in there, and that's from the Secretary of State, and that's a copy. I mean, you can't see the official seal because of the way copiers are. But the statute basically says that before, and including the federal government, before they do business in the state, they have to register like a business, and they haven't complied with that under RSA 123:1. And so, we would appreciate minimally that you at least get a hold of the representatives and perhaps the governor or whoever would be appropriate to get a hold of and ask them to make sure the federal government complies and to not take any action against anyone until they comply. And this is a notice, so, whether you do what you're obligated to do or not is up to you. I mean, we're not here to tell you to do anything, you know, do what you choose as you see fit, but to, you know, at least study the RSA and maybe find out from state officials what that's all about. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you want to give us your name, please?
My name is Bernie.
What are you doing here, Bernie?
I'm here because I came with a friend of mine who wished to put the selectmen of Plainfield on notice that the federal government hasn't filed the proper paperwork to do business in the state. We handed them a document from the Secretary of State that said there's no such document on file from the federal government.
Okay, and can you tell us what happened once he arrived on the, what is this, the town offices?
Yeah, the town office. We headed toward the door. They came up to Joe and asked if he's Joe, and he said yes, and they said, you're under arrest, and they cuffed him. And he asked what he was under arrest for, and they said, well, we got a warrant. And then they said that he was under arrest for criminal threatening because he sent an email apparently to the Lebanon council members and to let them know about this, that the federal government isn't authorized to do business in the state. They haven't filed the proper documents. And he also wrote in there, wise up or die, which they apparently take as a threat, even though Joe said something similar to Kelly Ayotte. He was arrested. He spent about 5 days in jail for that, went to trial, and they found that we still have free speech in this country, and he could say that. He didn't say he was going to kill anybody. He just wished it on them, and that's kind of what he did here. That's the nature of Joe, but, you know, they said wise up or die is a threat, so I guess our license plate that says live free or die is probably a threat, too.
All right, I'm Troy Davis of WeThePeopleRadio.com, and we're here in Plainfield, New Hampshire. We just got back from, what did you say in this email?
Well, it was an email to the city councilors of Lebanon dealing with their disgusting vote that they would not investigate on Ed's case dealing with RSA 123:1, where the feds have to have the consent of the legislature before they can come into the state.
Okay. And
I was upset that they did not urge the governor to assert his Article 41 powers to enforce all legislative mandates, because it says shall, S-H-A-L-L, that the feds shall do this. And this is why I'm doing this, is to help out the Browns, because the outlaws are actually the federal government. They're invading this state. And what I did, I wrote that email to the counselors, and I highlighted former Representative Terry Dudley, who's 78 years old. I said, in your decades of being bragging about the fact that she was in that city for so long, I said, it's about time you either wise up or die.
And that's all you said was wise up or die?
Yeah.
And that was at the end of your email?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that email from you later.
But what gets me is, in the complaint, I talked this over with the police investigator,
Can you get it?
and what I told him was there was no criminal intent. It's just I wished I had a vote in that city, or else I would have voted her out of business.
Okay.
And since I'm outside the city, all I can do is wish. You can't charge somebody for wishful thinking.
So do you think this is a First Amendment issue? Because obviously, as a free person, you have the right to free speech in the First Amendment. Do you believe that's the issue here?
It's a free speech issue, and I went through this once before, and there's an attorney in Concord, Ted Barnes. There's a current case at the New Hampshire Supreme Court on this very issue of free speech. That they have to have all the elements of the crime, and to say that it's a crime of murder.
Can you read this part here for me?
Okay, here it is. In that the defendant did, with a purpose to terrorize Terry Dudley, knowingly threatened to commit the crime of murder, and that he did send Terry Dudley an email in which he stated, wise up or die. See, they're putting words into my mouth. They're putting, there's no criminal intent.